Look at my shit.
I have to go get my actual gun now.
That's what I was gonna start with. Look at my shit.
Look at all my shit. You fucking bitches.
Okay, we're gonna jump right in now. So
can we start?
What are we talking about
with
first?
how much he ripped off Riff Raff? Like,
Yeah,
can we
if
just
you'd like.
talk about
Okay.
how much? Because it's so fucking obvious. Like, and he keeps talking about, like, James Franco keeps going out and talking about how, like, oh no, it's this guy named Danger Russ, and it's like, then why did you message him and say you were movie game Riff Raff? Like, I don't. That's why the song is called Rap Game James Franco, is because he was literally like, you said you were movie game Riff Raff. Like, I love this movie.
I know is,
I don't care what it is, it's fucking awesome.
I love this movie to fucking
this movie
death.
gets better every time I see it.
Big second for me. Every time I see this film, I uncover more about it, and it's just
it's so good.
A lot more than what it looks like. A lot more.
The first entry in the IMDb says that what he was trying to do was to create a
Britney Spears movie mixed with Gaspar Noé.
Right, and so he goes and hires Gaspar Noé's DP and does exactly this.
Yeah.
But I think there's some Terrence Malick in there too, which is what I love.
Oh, there's a whole.
This could be Terrence Malick on PCP.
When I said that Waves kind of reminded
Florida
me
Man
of
Terrence Malick.
Malick and Spring Breakers, like, yeah, this is a gorgeously lit movie.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it's not. It's actually
look at behind me. Like,
it's not a matter of lighting, it's a matter of not caring about the lighting. It's like throwing solid color in and boosting it in post.
Chris, exactly. That's exactly what I was
No. This is like not doing it great, but doing it in a startling way. That scene behind Chris was startling.
So good.
What Scott said.
Yeah, and the thing is that
so
how they did that. That's, I don't know if that's black light or purple showing up in
It's black light. There's a black light behind them.
Yeah, there's a big black light above the camera, and that's what's lighting up the girls and as they go there. And that was just a remarkable scene. That's like
as somebody who lived in the Deep South in the early 2000s, I can tell you that this is what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm sure everything's cranked up a little louder than normal out there.
Yeah,
I'm sure that there are people for whom this movie that is horrifying, and I don't know that I would even disagree with them that much, but I just find it hilarious.
I feel bad for people who find this movie horrifying.
Yeah, no, I feel bad for people who see this film as something to live by as a.
I can see people.
Touchdown.
I can see people thinking this is horrifying, but really, this is an art film, and that's why I love it. But it goes beyond its subject matter.
But
it's brilliant because of the treatment of this subject matter.
Do you guys agree with me that it punches down, if not a lot?
No, I don't. No. I don't agree with you on that.
And by the way, I have no problem with this, but
I don't think it punches. I don't think it punches down. I think it punches sideways. I think this movie looks at the audience and goes, "You're these people too."
Well, let me ask you a question. What is Harmony Korine's background? Was he punching up or punching down?
I mean, he's a white kid.
Is he a kid?
Well,
he's not a kid anymore, but he was young when he started.
Was he a child?
Yeah, when he made kids, he was what, like 23 or something like that?
I didn't think he was that old.
He wrote kids. Remind me of his role.
Kids.
Yeah, he wrote Kids, but what's his name? Larry Clark directed.
Yeah. But I think he did.
Skaters, dude.
He did.
Well, the thing is, I think if he's younger and he made this, he's simply looking at the world he's in.
That's what I'm saying. I think this movie punches sideways.
Yeah,
I don't think it punches down.
No, he's saying these are my peers. So
you think he knows or knew people like this or adjacent?
I did.
Yeah. Well,
I think if you're in the right towns, people like this are way more common than you think, and you'll see them.
But this is St. Petersburg. This is the melting pot of, ostensibly a whole lot of middle class
trash culture.
Well, it's middle class kids from colleges all over America.
Mm-hmm. It's the redneck Riviera
together, to act like a bunch of fucking idiots for a week or so. So it's not like I think I was talking. I don't know that this is so much an indictment of white trash culture, because I don't think it is, because I don't necessarily think that the kids that are coming to St. Petersburg for spring break are.
They're in college. They're middle class.
Yeah,
No,
these are college students.
They're just acting out their white trash tendencies.
Right, and I mean,
among our 4 girls,
inside all of us, there are
consequences.
2 wolves. One of those wolves is this guy.
Yeah. Among our 4 girls, there's a major theme going on here, and I need to, before I talk about it, establish how we're going to pronounce this. Is it nihilism or nihilism? Because it shows up both ways.
I like.
We're going to use nihilism. The thing is, these girls.
What did Jim say? I couldn't hear.
Jim, take it.
I defer to Jim.
It can be pronounced both ways, but I prefer nihilism.
Okay, we'll say nihilism because you're the guy. But anyway, these girls have a structured life in this Midwestern college somewhere, and I've seen her watching a lecture, and it's a sea of laptops.
Yeah,
that was nuts. So they're constrained, and you see that. She's going to church revivals, and there's like all that stuff happening, and they go there.
Also, shout out to Jeff Jarrett for being the fucking pastor in that.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I know you guys aren't wrestling people, but like it was so fucking cool to see Jeff Jarrett because
that makes sense.
He's a pro wrestler and he's a big Jesus weirdo. Like I don't know how they got him to be in this because boy howdy did they drift away from God's light.
Maybe they only gave him his pages.
All that exposure to this kind of a world of no rules that they can't get to Florida until they have the money, and they make the money by robbing the chicken shack. And after that break happens,
it's just a series of escalating events.
No, it is. It becomes a series of moral questions for all 4 girls, and you can, especially
the third
time I've seen it, you can see them process this. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, one of them drops out.
Selena Gomez and Cotty both just drop out.
But after one,
Selena Gomez is like,
after she gets shot.
Cotty gets shot.
But she could have been.
I think I'd go home at that point too.
Yeah, she could have been there.
But I
with
found
them, but she
myself
decided
citing Selena Gomez's character because it was like, yeah, I'd be out of there too.
Fuck yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm Selena Gomez. In this movie, I'm Selena Gomez.
But then they get to steal Arch's.
Me too.
They get to steal Arch's fucking Lamborghini though.
Yeah,
I'd probably be one of the girls at the end because you're in for
those
for a mile.
You're in for a penny, in for a pound. Absolutely.
In for a penny, in for a pound. And these girls, they thought the same decision. In fact, this scene, I love this scene here.
Oh, so good.
Because
that's the best scene.
He found it was weird. This guy like a total kind of ghetto trash rapper guy, but he sees himself reflected in these 2 girls, and it's the most sincere scene in the whole movie.
He loves them.
He loves them. I know.
That's the moment he falls in love.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys.
And it gets him killed.
Maybe everyone here has had a moment in their lives like this when you're growing up. Not that one, but going quickly back to, because I grew up in this shitty little town called Red Bluff, and there was nothing to do there, and so there was a lot of drugs. And there was a lot of guys who were, not like Alien completely, but they were like Alien. I remember when
Alien.
Like, okay, here's a quick story. I remember when I turned 18 and I moved out of my house, right away with my friends, and we got this shitty apartment, right? And there was like 3 or 4 of us because we were like pooling our money.
I have a quick question about this. Was your couch hot? When you sat on the couch, was the couch too hot?
Not that I remember, but
was your couch a futon?
It was probably a futon. No, but I would just remember like we were all rappers.
By the way, he laughed because everyone knows what the hot couch is.
Oh yeah, we know.
We were. I was a rapper, and I was totally into this kind of like not this trashy lifestyle, but I idolized like black culture, and I watched MTV Yo Raps all the fucking time, and Yo MTV Raps. I mean, but anyway, one day I come home and there's like strangers in my kitchen cooking meth.
Oh wow!
And all we did was smoke weed and drink 40s. Like that's all we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And so like there's little moments like it's not as insane as Alien, but I've had moments where I've been at a party like Selena Gomez, and I'm like, motherfuckers here are freebasing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I've been at a party where they're giving like homemade tattoos on fucking naked chicks. Right. And there's a dude freebasing in the corner. And I'm like, I gotta go home. I don't want to fucking be here anymore.
That's when you just hear that ratchet click. It's like,
yeah, it's like, and I'm like 17 and I'm like, fuck this.
It's when you have the Anthony Kiedis moment where you snort a line because you think it's Coke and it turns out it's heroin.
Oh God, or Pulp Fiction for that matter.
I was gonna say. We all know what happened to Uma Thurman.
I did that when I was a kid. I did a line of coke. I thought it was coke, but it was actually meth, and it just gave me a headache. But because it wasn't good meth, apparently. But so
well, I'm just saying, like I would have been Selena Gomez too, because exactly. These weird
There's
situations.
less bad
like,
meth.
But anyway, what you said, Jared, is actually a reflection of what we're talking about. It's like when you presented, you get yourself kind of loose, and you're in, you're a kid, and you're opening up possibilities. That cliff shows up. Like, do you want to jump off that cliff? And you see,
that day we came home in the kitchen, I went upstairs, told my closest friend in the house, I'm like, we're moving out, and he's like, fuck yeah, we are. We moved out the next day.
Yeah, see, there it is.
Right,
you
got on the bus.
Yeah, no, I was at a party in southwestern Missouri, and I had the cops show up and fucking put a gun in my face. And like, that was one of those moments where it's like, if something was slightly different here, I'd be dead. Like that was a very dirtbag. That was a very dirtbag moment for me, but it was also very much like I should think a little bit more about things I'm doing.
Right.
There's that.
I didn't, by the way. I didn't do that. I should have.
What?
But I
think
didn't.
About things?
Yeah. No, I'm still a dirtbag to this day. But John knows.
It's just a couple of things I wrote down. Like the soundtrack, this movie is. I mean, Cliff Martinez is already one of my favorites, but adding Skrillex to the mix.
I own every song on this soundtrack, and I did not buy the
Cliff
soundtrack.
Martinez because of Nicholas Winding.
You don't need to,
baby.
And
because I already had it.
Just as. Yes, Franco is totally going for broke in this movie, and I love it. But also kudos to Vanessa Hudgens and Gomez, who are like shot out of a cannon trying to ditch the Disney princess persona as quickly as possible within the first like 30
seconds. This was an acid bath. I think that's mission accomplished.
The one that gets shot is related to Harmony. Is that correct?
Yeah,
it's his wife,
Rachel.
Rachel. Okay. Yeah. So did a good job playing a teenager, that's for sure.
When it got down to the two blondes that stayed, Sheila said I couldn't pick either one of them out of a lineup.
Yeah, and then maybe they're counting on that.
Which is why they get to steal the car and drive home. Because
they hardly needed the pink masks.
Yeah,
somebody had the frame up earlier with the piano and the pink. If I'd had time, that'd be the shot, because that was
so great.
That's immediately after the gun in the mouth love scene. And it was,
and then they play the
playing
song.
A Britney song,
and that was the point at which I decided I liked this movie.
And that's when
the
way.
Right.
And the reason I brought up Malick early on is because I don't know how much Malick nor Harmony, for that matter, in films like this, how much they stick to a script or how much they actually just discover in editing.
I'm sure they found this in the editing room.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think
it was still directed. There's so many things.
No, it's pretty deliberate.
No, of course. But I just think they direct, almost over direct, and then they say.
But Tad, the thing about these guys, and also even a little bit of that Waves movie, was there's a sort of hallucinatory quality to the imagery.
That's what they find in the edit.
That's the part that really,
that's what I mean. It's like all the
with me,
when it's just
watching this movie.
The feeling.
It's an acid trip. You know what it is? I can smell St. Petersburg in this movie. The sense of place is so defined and so specific that it's like you can smell it.
Yeah.
And have you seen the Thomas Jane Punisher?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that feels like Tampa in the same, like, it's that same kind of thing where it's like, this is some like weird North Florida shit. Like
the specificity of it.
And what Chris said about this being like, it's kind of a hallucinatory. It's not as like, remember Easy Rider? When they took LSD in like New Orleans, that was hallucinatory.
That's like
this pushed the color to make it feel like it was unreal, but it was very linear. I thought the storytelling, again, this is the third time out, was sharp. Boom. Every scene carried a bit of story to it.
90 minutes.
I remember the first time being upset that two like middle-class white chicks with Uzis could come and take out like a whole drug cartel.
It didn't seem realistic, did it?
No.
I hated that, but now I'm kind of thinking about that punching sideways thing that we were talking about, because I don't think that Harmony disrespects that culture at all. Like with having Gucci Mane in there, and like the like those gangsters are scary. These people are scary. They're real, but I still think
they don't care. Like that's the difference. Is
because Franco
Alien gets all the way bought in.
Alien gets gatted like the minute they step off the boat,
like within seconds of getting on that pier,
and then they just run the fucking gamut of like just taking out every motherfucker. And of course, part of me is like, this is so awesome, but the other part of me is like, that would never happen. These chicks would be dead too. Like,
well, the thing is, I think the difference was that they weren't high. Everybody in that house was high.
Well, and again,
the people in the house that weren't high.
They had better aim.
I don't think the dudes standing by the trees outside were high. They were
high, man.
But they don't care, and there is a freedom. There's a freedom to not caring.
They're shooting all those gangbangers while in the background they're talking to their grandmas about how awesome this is.
I know.
I love that. The voiceover is brilliant in this because it doesn't deform the movie at all. It's not.
The true nihilism with me the rest of my life.
The true nihilism of this movie is the understanding that if you give everything up, if you stop caring, you can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the lesson here.
Like you can murder
you can go in and murder all these gangsters, and that's exactly what we're talking about. That's the end game of nihilism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the other big theme here is basically
that's the thing they miss in The Big Lebowski, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
Still love it, but yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, no,
I like
love
that,
Big Lebowski, but also they're so wrong. That movie's so wrong about nihilism. Like nihilism is free.
Yeah,
like you can just be whatever you want if you give everything up.
I.e. bulletproof.
I nailed the second theme. I'm going to make it as a question rather than say anything about it. Is the other theme is give me a second. It's a big long word.
By the way, nihilism. We're gonna
no. It's seeking enjoyment and pleasure is called
Schadenfreude.
Hedonism.
This film is about hedonism, and Spring Break
for sure.
is a hedonistic break.
Spring Break is nothing but hedonistic.
How does this film address hedonism? What do you think it's saying about it?
Well, who wasn't disturbed a little bit by some of that fucking party footage? I mean, holy shit!
The opening 5 minutes of this film established a tone I can't erase out my eyeballs.
I mean, it's like that's beyond like partying. That's like. How many people were raped probably at Spring? I mean, it's just
let's not go there.
Go watch the documentary about the Woodstock in the airfield.
Yeah.
Also, let's also go watch the documentary about the Girls Gone Wild guy. Like,
yeah,
when it cut to all the people on the back, all the kids.
I don't want to go down that road. Like we're talking about the fun.
It's interesting because it's basically talking about the hedonism is a landmine in this film. You don't want to talk about it because it's like people who just seek out pleasure, who go down there just to get wild in Spring Break. It's like the only thing that limits it's the 1 week they have off. Because they're going to indulge themselves.
Yeah, because she keeps going. No, we have to go back to class tomorrow.
Yeah. And this guy's trying to pull back on because hedonism is like a black hole in Florida, I imagine. He just suck you right in, right? And this is about two girls accepting it, and the other two.
The amount of drugs and alcohol
because Alien is definitely a hedonist. He just everything he does is for pleasure. Look at my shit, guns and doing the rap thing. He's
by the way, one of the best monologues in cinema.
Yeah,
look at my shit. I got fucking. Look at this. I smell good.
My bed is a spaceship.
Yeah, I know.
all the guns mounted on the wall.
Yeah, a little pretty arrangement. Yeah, that's good stuff. But
the not very much longer. He's got to have like that stare down with his rival
Arch.
Yeah. Which is like there's so much communication.
Who brought him up?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like that scene that it goes from like all of a sudden it's deadly serious for that.
But I love how but even in those scenes were so fun because they're just like, fuck you, I got guns too. You know what I mean? It's like you got guns, I got guns. It's just almost like they're canceling each other out in a weird way. I don't know. It's like
it's in a way it's kind of like the scene from Get Shorty where he lifts up his shirt.
That movie.
Yeah.
Like it's that moment of like Like,
Like,
what you gotta
what do you got
9?
there? A fucking YabtM, the fucking Fiat of guns,
And
always
he just
fucking jamming up on you.
kills him with it. He just blah 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 blah.
Pop,
Good
pop,
night,
pop, pop.
John Grease.
Oh
I
my
want to hear
God.
from Jim and John.
John just
Go,
stopped the
John.
first time.
I thought of after this film, I was going to get some dinner. I went and got some takeout, and I was thinking about the movie, and I was thinking it was going to be hard to talk about. You know that the old saw that talking about film is like dancing about architecture. This is the film, because this doesn't really work on a verbal level very much. I'll bet you there's 20 pages of dialogue in this 9-minute movie. There's not a lot going on. There's a lot of repeated dialogue.
True.
Maybe 21 if you count his little rap
Spring
about the
break.
birdies, where he's playing one note on the piano.
For little birdies.
I mean, okay, so this movie doesn't challenge you with a complicated story. There's not a huge amount of character growth. There's no key character moments where you see somebody change and grow. It doesn't have any of the things that I usually sort of intellectually look for and enjoy in a film. This is coming from like a lower chakra, and it's just like it's a smear of color and boobs and noise and glare and
put that on the poster.
But it's done in a way that is not like any other sort of,
I mean, I trailed off just now because I don't have words to describe it.
It's a movie about hedonism that somehow isn't period. Like it's such a weird...
No, and in fact I was like, no more boobs.
Or it's so period it goes over the top and comes back.
Honestly, I think this is like highbrow garbage.
Blasphemous.
This is
highbrow garbage.
Yeah. Highbrow garbage. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take what John said and reverse it. I don't think this works like a traditional narrative where you start out with a person you don't know and you learn more about them and they grow.
Well, I thought Selena Gomez was the main character.
This is about a bunch of young people with kind of like simple ideas about what they want in life, hitting their limits.
Selena Gomez is not the main character if she gets on a bus halfway through the movie and leaves.
No, she absolutely
never
is.
appears again.
The four work as a,
because as you all said, you're getting on that bus too.
Yeah.
Good yelling today, you guys.
Yeah,
I'm the one who's like, yeah, let's go fucking murder Arch. And
but some films
the rest of you are like, oh, I'm gonna get on the bus.
Oh yeah, I'd get on the bus.
Some films are not about building character, they're about revealing character, and this film's about revealing character. Whether you have it or you don't have it. Basically.
That's true too. Scott's right there.
Yeah.
Jim, you've seen this a few times, right?
I saw it once when it came out, I guess. I going into it, I'd forgotten how much, even the first time I watched it, I disliked it intensely while watching it. And then there's some point where, like John, you finally just go, oh, it's an art film. I see.
That's pretty much
surrender to it.
That's pretty much the right exact.
Yeah, you have to give up at a certain point.
You know, like the second gun barrel is in your mouth, you have no choice.
Right. Once they stick a gun in your mouth, you have no choice.
Which is 2 in a row this week. You know, last week we had a gun in Jeff Goldblum's mouth, and this week we got it in James Franco's mouth. Who's going to get it in the mouth next week?
But there's but James Franco
fucking James Franco.
But
James Franco
gives head to the guns to both barrels.
Absolutely.
That is why I said that's the point where you have no choice.
Yeah.
Well, they had to because they had seen Into the Night. They're just upping it.
They're just upping the ante.
This, but more.
Yeah.
No, Harmony Korine is a crazy motherfucker. There's no
How
doubt.
is this the first Harmony Korine movie we've watched?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a third theme that came up while I was watching this. That you guys could take on this. This film is actually, a lot of it is just about youth. It's about being a kid.
Yeah.
And the decisions kids make. And it's like, I thought that Harmony Korine did an amazing job of that. There's some connection he has to how kids think.
And kids, the movie Kids also gets that right.
Yeah, exactly right.
There's the headspace that he's still in.
This is in Kids.
That's why I keep saying that is a Harmony Korine movie.
That is Harmony.
His understanding of them,
of the young mind,
is so good.
It's that startling how well
the total entitled ingratitude of those kids before they left college.
Oh,
we got to get out of here. It's like, you poor kids. Your parents are paying for college and you're staying in a dorm and you hate it so much.
Look, man, I I did too. Like, I literally there was a moment where I was in college.
But it's the whole because the reality
no, but
is,
I was like, I need to get away from this. I need to get away from this.
No,
world
when you're
that my
given,
parents
that's
created.
valid. And also at that age, you haven't lived in that many worlds, so
well,
you don't have much to compare it to.
I grew up with people on both sides of the spectrum. When you're given everything, you resent the people who gave it to you,
It's
and
exactly
you fucking
right.
hate them.
That's
and you don't want to be around them. And when you have nothing, you fucking resent the people that have everything and shit on it.
And
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I had nothing.
I was in the middle of that because I essentially had nothing, but I also was given everything by college.
Right.
And it was one of those moments where I was just like, I don't want to be in this world that you forced me into.
Yeah.
Like
that feeling.
No one wants to feel like they're being forced into something.
No, that's wonderful in the first act because I'm watching it as an adult saying these kids are so spoiled, they want to leave, but at the same time, cleaving it is like I understand because it is oppressive, it is stifling being in college like that. Yeah, because the one thing I noticed also the third screening is that they did not take a lot of pains to hide the fact that that community college they shot was in Florida. Right. I would have loved it if they had like big bare trees everywhere. It was like Bennington or like North Carolina, Brown University, but there's palm trees everywhere on that campus.
Think how much money they saved.
They saved a lot of money.
But again, like I went to Tulane and there's palm trees all over. Like, and people.
But if you go to Tulane, would you want to go to spring break? It's just like short drive.
I mean, I didn't, but a lot of people did.
But if you're up in like Ohio State or Miami or like University of Kentucky or like Northwestern, you're gonna want that's where you want to go because it's freezing up there.
No, I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is like plenty of people went to spring break from my college, like it, and that's real close to Florida.
I didn't get to experience any of this shit. I flunked out of Santa Rosa Junior College.
I went to college in the West Coast. Spring break there is like it's Baja.
I lasted 1.5 semesters in Santa Rosa Junior College.
I went to Sonoma State, so it's not very.
Now I'm retired at 57. So
also, we're in California. We don't leave. We didn't need to leave.
Look at my shit.
Look at my shit.
All right, Look at my fucking Blu-rays, bitch. Look at my fucking laser discs. I got fucking laser discs, bitch.
Let's write that down. Hold on, 802.
Big thumbs up to fucking Spring Breakers. I'm glad somebody finally picked it. Thank you,
yes,
Tab.
thank you.
We've been daring each other since this started.
I love this movie.
I'm gonna give it a slightly grudging thumbs up.
And Jim's corner. The gesture itself was worth the price of admission.
We gotta keep this.
That's a new rating.
I like it.
It's like a shock.
I can't even do it.
Yelling about movies logo.
This. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, the yelling about movies logo is.
That's it.
That's so cool.